what's in the workshop. The thing that everybody's been fucking asking me about all the time lately. The Turbo Merc is in. I'm going to do the engine mounts, which are here. I better change the gearbox fluid and filter, which I've owned for about a bloody year and never changed it. But they're over there somewhere. I would kind of like, and I've never done it before, and I've always said don't bother, but Thomas has just done it to the T2. Run a sump when you're running a oil scavenge pump and a remote turbo, and I never did on the E55. We did, and it was fine, no smoke, no nothing. But the T2 was smoking a little bit when you'd left it, and this does as well. Just cold start, it smokes for a few minutes because the oil must be accumulating in the turbo. But first things first, I'll do the engine mounts because kind of important to have an engine that's connected to the car. So if I remember right, it's easy. I almost recall removing the originals, but I don't think I could have because the car wouldn't be drivable. I don't remember. Just like welding the diff, I've lost all memory in these 6 months of not using the bloody thing. But yeah, looks quite a tidy car. If you looked at it up close, you'd realise it is a bit shit, to say the least. But it's on a YouTube video, it's tidy. It's sort of yeah, it's a YouTube car. I bet you're looking at it now thinking, oh, that's lovely. From my eyes, I can see shit paint that's hiding rust, shit paint that's hiding rust, shit paint that's hiding scratches, runs, all sorts. But on camera, looks great. To be honest, it's presentable. I mean, even from, if you drove past anybody, you'd think it's a tidy car. It's not, but it's solid because I've spent ages patching it up because these are all rusty. But it's no minter. It never could be. That's why I wasn't worried about cutting it to pieces. Midway through doing the engine mounts, old ones are off. Driver's side is splitting, but it's complete and solid. Passenger side, well, turbo side, is completely destroyed. Absolutely fucked. Passenger side, turbo side, whatever you want to call it, mount is back on. Really easy on that side. Driver's side, pain in the ass. There's just nowhere near as much room. It was really awkward to undo. And then now it's going back on. You see it's on, but it's got to come back off again because these engine mounts, Quinton Hazel ones, QH, Quinton Hazel engine mounts are basically shite. The threads aren't cut right. These they're aluminium with a steel insert. This is like the original genuine Mercedes ones, but obviously ancient. Them Quinton Hazel ones are just aluminium that's been tapped. But not only were they tapped so badly you couldn't get the bolts in more than a couple of threads, they're not tapped deep enough either for the original bolts. That side, I tapped it, well, Thomas started tapping it and I finished it as deep as it would go until it hit the rubber, but that's not even as deep as this is, so I had to use a washer to space it out, and we didn't realise that until that one was already mostly on. So now that's got to be removed, and that's genuinely a two-man job because they are awkward to get off. If you want an example of how bullshit and junk these Quinton Hazel engine mounts are, I was just nipping up that side, this side all done up fine after all the previous disasters, that is. And I said about this side on the original is like a steel insert and cast on the outside. Well, on this one It's an insert, weirdly, and the insert is junk and came straight out. Literally, I was doing it up and it was like, hang on, it's not tightening. So I loosened it, I undid it, and basically this was attached to the bolt, like it's just a 13mm, and not attached to that. Literally, absolute shit. Well, that's the mounts done, but I say mounts, I mean mount, because this is that brand new Quinton Hazel one which literally fell apart, piece of shit. That is the knackered one from that side. But if you remember at the start of the video, well, start of this bit, that mount was okay, it was in one piece. So I've ended up putting the new mount on that side and the old mount, which was on that side, on the broken side. So now I've got one new mount and one swapped mount, which is old, but it could last for years, it could last minutes. So one of them, it's either that or wait, and I ain't waiting. But yeah, do I recommend this brand? Do I? Bollocks. Junk. Well, for the first time in the Mercedes life, it's getting a gearbox oil change. These things, back then at least, I don't think it's like it now. Mercedes were like, the gearboxes are sealed for life officially, but that's bullshit, really. You know, they need, any gearbox oil needs changing, simple as that. And but this one, no way has it ever been changed before. And one bit of good news is the inside of the pan, at least, looks mint. There was no metal on the magnet, nothing. The underside looks like shit, but that bit looks great. Right, that's the new transmission oil filter in, new transmission oil filter, well, transmission pan gasket on, all that good stuff. So now it's time to put some oil in, and I'm using tractor oil, John Deere High Guard. To most people that would be like, what the fuck, why are you doing that? But trust me, it works. It's way better than most like transmission fluids for performance use. I got this idea, this trick, from the, you know, big power V8 turbo automatic guys in America. Loads of them run High Guard because it's basically the bollocks. It's John Deere hydraulic oil, but it can handle temperatures and the kind of abuse that a big power V8 turbo engine gives an automatic transmission. Way better than nearly all other transmissions. It's really good stuff. So if it's good enough for cars way more powerful than this, it's good enough for me. I told this trick back, I don't know, maybe a year ago near enough, to Thomas, and he's been running it in the same gearbox as this, but in the OM606 powered traffic off-road crazy thing. And obviously that's got four-wheel drive, big tires, big weight, everything, so it's putting a lot of strain on the transmission, and it copes great. It's brilliant. So, you know, people couldn't say, oh, I wonder if it's suitable for these gearboxes. Yeah, it is. I mean, gearboxes aren't magic, so there's no reason it wouldn't be, but it is, works lovely. So yeah, I'm going to run this on tractor hydraulic fluid. Right, that's pretty much done. It's kind of almost ready for the road. I mean, there's little bits and pieces. It's a modified car, so it never kind of ends. There's like the fan that goes on the transmission cooler. It's not wired up. Again, it's not the most important thing in the world, but I should do it. Maybe do it tomorrow. You know, bits and pieces. I still need to, I'd like to make that sump for the oil return. Again, it's not like vital, but it's kind of handy. One thing I did do a minute ago is on the back where the original boot lock is. This car never had one. Well, it has got a boot lock, but it hasn't got a key one. It was always activated from inside the car. And somebody had blanked off the original, you know, previous owner with like some kind of crappy blanking plate, and it weren't very good. And then one day I removed it for reasons I can't remember. There was something wrong, so I removed it, and I've never replaced it. And then a minute ago I was thinking of jobs I needed to do, and I thought I need to replace that, because you don't wanna, it looks like your car's been stolen when you've got a fucking hole in the back where the lock was. So that's my solution. Can you see what it is? It's just the right size. It's the compressor wheel off the GT30 on the Volvo. Well, what was on the Volvo. That literally, I've got a scrap pile out the front of scrap turbos, and I thought, hang on, you know what, 76mm, which is GT30 76 compressor wheel size. I thought, yeah, that's about right. So yeah, I went out there to the scrap pile, pulled it out, whipped the compressor wheel off, offered it up. So, oh fuck me, it fits real nice. I was having to think about why these turbo oil sumps work on these low mount turbo setups, you know, that Porsche and most of these others have. And normally it's a tank pre-suction pump, you know, post-turbo pre-suction pump with a breather off it. And I thought, well, basically the reason it must work is A, it gives more capacity in this area, and B, the breather clearly does something. What the breather does, not really sure. So I thought, well, you don't really need a tank for that, you just need more capacity. So rather than bother Thomas, who's busy enough, or buying some kind of tank to do the job, I did the same, just with extra pipe work. So now it tees off here, and there's your extra capacity, and it goes up to just a breather fill there. Because to be honest, and that is a one-way valve as well, so it can only go out, not in. Most of them haven't got that, but the reason I've put that in is because it means there's always going to be more vacuum in here, which should give the pump a better chance of working properly. You know, in my head at least. And this, I think most of the time this sump is used is when the engine's off, because you take any of these pipes off even after the engine's not been running for however long, you know, even if you've left the pump on for a bit after the engine's turned off to scavenge any extra oil, these will still be full of oil. So I honestly think the sump is mostly to stop this filling up when the engine's off, because that is the main reason. It's like this car, the only time it really smokes is when you first start it. After first start, it's fine. And on that E55 we did, that never even happened. Exactly why, I'm not sure. So I'm fairly sure this will work, and nothing's ever going to come out of that, because unless that fails, and if that fails, A, I would hear it anyway, and B, I'd know about it, because oil would gradually come out of there. But generally that won't be it's not like an oil catch tank where it's going to have stinky oil fumes. Nothing's going to ever be coming out of that. That's just to, you know, let the air out as this fills with oil with the engine turned off. Once the engine's on, especially because that's a one-way valve, it's going to suck and whoop straight back full. And that one-way valve is funny actually. It's a one with literally no pressure to open it. You can blow through it, you know, it's not spring loaded. You don't have to push it open. You know, the force of the air of this side doesn't have to overcome the one-way valve. It's like this funny rubber sealer, so it's a zero pressure one. It's really clever. So it's perfect for this. So in my head at least, this should work. Whether it does, I know as soon as I drive it, but in my head I'm pretty confident what I've done here is correct. Not sure. I mean, the turbo is not exactly full of oil or anything. It's never been bad on this, but yeah, on cold start it would do it a little bit. So now I'm going to reattach the intake pipe. And that's another thing, to be honest, even if anything ever did come out of that with the engine running, which I'm pretty sure is impossible unless that fails, the turbo, the whole engine air filter sits there, so it would suck in any fumes before I even knew about it. So right, let's get the intake pipe back on. Right, so intake pipe back on, breather set up as I've shown you. All good. That was only about 10 seconds. It's fairly good burnouts, doesn't it? And that was real quick. Bloody hell. That was, I need to do a proper one of these days. Not first gear, was that set? I can't remember if I put it in second or third, but you can see it had some wheel speed. Seeing as how quick that was. But yeah, can't wait to get this on the road. I'm not saying I broke the Merc, but I might have broke the Merc. A lot of smoke coming out the breather. I don't think that's running on 8 either. The dipstick had popped out, but I don't know if I'd pull it back properly, so that's my bad. Interesting. That noise is weirdly the fuel pressure regulator. Yeah, I thought I'd do a little burnout just to give this video some action. And I think I broke it. How the fuck it broke, I don't know, because that was nothing compared to what I've already done with it. But yeah, there's bits of tyre there. Tyre. Tyre. Everywhere. It's pissed oil everywhere. It's not running on all cylinders. And when I open the water cap, header tank, it looked like it was about to boil over, but the temperature's not hot. It spat the belt, but it spat the belt after. The water temp never went high. It stayed as it always did. So I don't know what's broke. But it's broke, I think. Yeah, it's been one of them days. It did a pretty good burnout for an only short one. I thought I'd do a short one, you know, not to stress it, and somehow it's fucking blown up. AFRs were 11 O's, so it wasn't like it was running lean. It was only a few PSI boosts, so it's not like it was fucking mega boost. But something, maybe the fact it's just a very old engine, has fucked it. Bollocks. Bollocks, shit and cunt.